dark.
What is up, guys? Jason Lore here with Jason Lore Photography and Films, and today we're going to be talking about the Book of Boba Fett series. It's now all on Disney Plus, all episodes 1 through 7. So if you guys want to check it out, it's all there. But otherwise, if you guys want to hear what my thoughts on the series is, let's go ahead and get started. Now, there are going to be some spoilers in this review, so if you guys want to watch the series first, definitely check it out and then come back and watch this. All right, so real quick, we get a chance to see how Boba Fett survived the Sarlacc pit, which we last saw him in Return of the Jedi, which was like eons ago. So thanks to his Beskar armor, which is an armor that's very rare for Mandalorians, and that was able to save him from the acid in the Sarlacc pit, and he was able to fight and crawl his way through out of the Sarlacc pit. So in the first few episodes, he's going to be going back and forth through flashbacks while he's still trying to heal from some of the damages from the Sarlacc pit in the Bacta tank. And so while he's in there, we get flashbacks of what happened when he got out of the Sarlacc pit. So apparently he was taken prisoner by some Tusken Raiders, but then he went from a prisoner to a friend because he ended up saving one of the kids, the Tusken Raider kids, from a creature in the sands. So with that, they taught him their cultures, their way of life, and even their combat skills. So that's the reason why, when we see him in the Mandalorian series, he's carrying one of those staffs that the Tusken Raiders carry. And that was the fascinating thing too, is that we got to learn a little bit more about the Tusken Raiders and who they are. And I honestly wanted to learn some more. And in fact, I thought this was a great opportunity for the series to introduce a whole bunch of things and other different beings in the Star Wars universe, and the Tusken Raiders being one of them. And during his time with the Tusken Raiders, he actually developed some compassion and also some honor and loyalty. So that all comes with him to now the present, which is so he and Fennec Shan, who is his second in command, take over Jabba's palace and now becomes a crime lord. So he goes from being a bounty hunter now to a crime lord, which is kind of interesting because we all know him as this badass bounty hunter. So why make him a crime lord? I think the creators, or the creators of the show, that is, decided to give him this route rather than just going back to a bounty hunter life, because that's kind of already what Mando is now from the Mandalorian series. It's like he's the bounty hunter that's going around doing jobs for people and all that. So I think they wanted to give him a different route and make him like a crime lord. But the thing is that he says so himself to Fennec, is that Jabba the Hutt ruled with fear, but I'm looking to rule with respect. So I think a lot of that came from the time, again, with the Tusken Raiders, where he developed that, that loyalty, honor, respect, and also that compassion. But now that's the question too, is can he be a badass but also be compassionate at the same time? There were some great demonstrations of how his compassion does come in handy. For instance, you got these teenagers who are causing trouble, and they explain to him why they do what they do, and Boba basically gave him an opportunity to change all that by working for him. And they saw that as something odd. Here's someone who's not just bossing people around or threatening people to do stuff for him, but giving them an opportunity to be and to better themselves. So that's one example of how his compassion helps, he got himself a Rancor. The Rancor and Boba Fett formed like a bond. And, he basically showed him like compassion and love. And, the Rancor actually likes it. And, the trainer even told him, like, hey, if you want, I can teach you how to ride him. And that actually, again, goes to show that, okay, that's pretty badass, having not just a Rancor, but also being able to ride a Rancor. That's badass, but also at the same time, like, it was his compassion that, got him, like, the trust and that connection with the Rancor. So, again, these are just some of the examples of how his compassion can come in handy. Fennec Shan kept reminding him, it's like, you can't always be doing that because you're gonna make yourself look weak amongst those who are trying to kill you. And with that being said, there are some people who are trying to kill him, and that's the other crime lords. And now knowing that and realizing that, he realizes that he's gonna need some help. And with that being said, we actually get to see what's been going on with Mando after season 2 of the Mandalorian series. But the thing was that we had like a whole episode of him, just basically trying to figure out how to use the Darksaber that he got, and then going back to Tatooine, and apparently getting himself a new ship since the last one blew up. And then, of course, he gets approached by Fennec Shan at the very end of that episode and is being told that Boba Fett needs help, which of course he agrees to, seeing as, Boba Fett and Fennec helped him get Grogu back. So we figure, okay, the Mandalorian's in, we're gonna be, seeing what Boba Fett's up to now. And then comes episode 6, we get more of the Mandalorian, and now we got Grogu and even Luke and Ahsoka. So I was at this point like just very lost on like, wait a second, are we watching the Book of Boba Fett? Are we watching the Mandalorian now? And so it's, again, don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of the Mandalorian. I've watched seasons 1 and 2 and can't wait for season 3, but I'm here to watch Boba Fett. I want to see what he's planning on doing with himself, along with like all these other characters that he's, befriended or met. And now we're just mainly focusing on characters from The Mandalorian. And so, again, it's like there's only 7 episodes, and we're on episode 6 now, to where we're seeing more of The Mandalorian and all the characters in The Mandalorian. Because, like, even in episode 6, you see Mando trying to recruit, like, these other characters that he met, one of which is the Marshal, and his townspeople to come help fight with him and Boba Fett. And so it was just like, I don't know, again, it felt like watching the Mandalorian now, a character that Star Wars fans would recognize, and that is the bounty hunter Cad Bane. So I believe Cad Bane made an appearance a long time ago in the old Star Wars anime series, and he was just this really deadly bounty hunter. And, he shows up and shoots down the Marshal as a warning from the other crime lords that anybody that gets involved with Boba Fett is gonna die. Episode 7, which is the final episode. All the characters together, that's great. Everybody's in this gunfight with each other, with the bad guys. And, it just, I don't know, like, it just felt like everything was just all mashed up together versus like, building up to it. And, one of which is, again, Cad Bane shows up right before the beginning of the shootouts and sees Boba Fett. And apparently he, made an establishment that, they both apparently had history with each other. And I thought, wow, I would have loved to hear more about that and, see more about that. But, he pops in and then, disappears. The only part that I did like about that final, that final fight was Mando and Boba Fett side by side two badass bounty hunters, like just, fighting alongside each other. So that's pretty cool. Boba Fett disappears for a bit. He comes riding in on the Rancor and just starts like destroying these giant, robots. So I thought that was pretty cool. At some point, he gets thrown off the Rancor, and now he finally faces off against Cad Bane. And this time, they got to fight each other face to face, no distractions. But the only problem with that is, again, Cad Bane just, gave out so much of like their past history with each other. But then it's like, he just ends up like getting killed by Boba Fett. And I thought to myself, it's like, they just not only killed, a well-known character, but now they killed an opportunity of having like, two rivals, who are equally as skilled, if not better than the other. But now it's like it just made it all a waste. Like you bring in a character for like just episode and a half, and then it's like just see you later. So after the fight, I mean, pretty much everything's now at peace. We saw a lot of chaos and a lot of like disrespects to Boba when we first saw him walking the streets as crime lord. But now as he's walking the streets again with Fennec, we noticed that like everybody seems to notice him more, and instead of fearing him, now they respect him. And it's interesting because there was a dialogue where he says, maybe we're not cut out to be this type of person or these type of people. And Fennec says, if not us, then who? And that's when we start to realize, like, the town does need him, and he is needed to be both this compassionate and badass person. With Boba Fett, though, I felt like, he was robbed. I mean, they were able to get the original actor who played Jango Fett to come back and play as, Boba Fett. And I just thought that was a wasted opportunity. I felt like, this was a great opportunity to start a whole popular series for Boba Fett. And now, given how it turned out, I don't even know if there's going to be a season 2, which I'm kind of sad about because, there was such opportunity for the character himself. But, all we can do now is just wait and see if they'll give him another chance or if they're just going to scrap it and just move on. But otherwise, that's pretty much it for my review on the Book of Boba Fett series. Like I said, it was, it started out great, but then it just started like, going downhill at the last half of, the series. We saw a little bit too much of, the Mandalorian characters, and it just, again, went from the Book of Boba Fett to the Mandalorian. So I honestly don't know why they went that route, but they did, and again, it's just a missed opportunity. But otherwise, guys, that's it for this review. If you guys already seen the Book of Boba Fett, let me know what you guys think. Did you guys like it, hate it, had the same thoughts as I did, or what's your thoughts on this show? I mean, definitely would love to hear from you guys. If you guys have any more questions on the Book of Boba Fett, definitely let me know in the comments below as well. And if you guys want to check out more of my works as far as like reviews, photography, videos, definitely check out my social media networks, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, which, speaking of, if you guys haven't done so either, definitely click on that subscribe button on my YouTube channel, so that way you guys can get more updates on upcoming reviews, projects, and events that I'll be involved in. But until then, guys, thank you as always, and this is Jason Lore with Jason Lore Photography and Films, bringing art, stories, and entertainment.